उसको डाउन कर
Students, please settle down.
Ma'am, it's on. It's on. Okay, start. वो आते हैं
So we are about to start the session. Namaste. A very warm welcome to all the dignitaries present. Director sir, Aditi ma'am, Chitna ma'am, Jaya ma'am, Tony sir, faculty members, the students, everybody present in the hall and everybody attending the session online. My name is Jayant Kumar. I am working as an assistant professor in the textile design department at NIFT Patna. And today we have with us a very special guest who will be speaking in this expert lecture series. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you to Ms. Jaya Jaitu. She graduated in English literature from Smith College, USA in 1963 after studying abroad in many countries. She has an intimate knowledge of the craft traditions of the country, having worked in the field for over 40 years. In 1986, she founded an association of craftspeople called the Dastakari Haat Samiti, which enables traditional workers to gain confidence in the marketplace through many innovative strategies. She served as a design and marketing consultant to the Gujarat government for 11 years and Uttar Pradesh government for 3 years. She conceptualized and established Delhi Haat, a greatly popular crafts marketplace in Delhi. Her work in bringing together craftspeople of many countries in design workshops is seen as a major contribution towards soft power diplomacy. She is a prolific writer and has published a diverse range of books, including Crafts of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, The Craft Tradition of India, Vishwakarma's Children, Story of India's Craft People, Crafting Nature, The Artistry of Handwork, Woven Textile of Varanasi, and seminal work of Craft Atlas of India, among others. She has created a vast documentation of art, craft and textiles of India through 24 highly creative and unique maps of all states of India. She has written a number of short stories on crafts of children. Her self-published work, Crafting Indian Script, is based on a major project called Akshara, combining literacy, craft and calligraphy. The exhibition created and curated by her on this subject has been shown in New Delhi, Cairo, UNESCO headquarters in Paris, Mumbai and Singapore. A Podium on the Pavement is a selection of her writings on various subjects including politics, foreign affairs, craft livelihood, women and social issues. She guided the digital photo documentation of 52 craft stories in India for the prestigious Google Arts and Culture online platform, adopted subsequently by the Ministry of Tourism under the Incredible India program. Her book, Life Among the Scorpions, Memoir of a Woman in Indian Politics, captures 3 decades of her political journey. She regularly writes articles for many newspapers and journals. She serves on the advisory body related to craft and livelihood, social science studies and public causes. She was the head of a task force at the Niti Aayog on child marriage, infant and maternal mortality. In addition, she serves on the General Assembly of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. She has been deeply involved in heritage and livelihood issues at all levels and has received award for her work in culture and the arts and as role model for women leaders. Her 3 decades in active politics have widened her knowledge and appreciation of socio-economic milieu of Indian cultural heritage. Let's welcome Jaya ma'am with a big round of applause.
presentation today, which will be a combination of just visuals and what I have to say. You don't have to take notes, you just have to listen as students. So there won't be any bullet points that you have to note down. This is a collection of the work I've done over the years. Not to say that it's any person's achievement, but why these different projects and programs and experiences happened, and what they teach us about how to keep crafts going, which is the main subject, promoting crafts for the future. Crafts have remained, like we were looking behind the museum just now, no matter what has changed, traditional folk arts did not change. It has kept improving and improving. Because karigars work for themselves, they work as a prayer, they work because the community needs it, and for many reasons which are not necessarily about a government or a Raja Maharaja giving them money and paying them to work. So it is so much a close part of our culture that today the craftspeople, even those who are not literate, they can probably teach all of us a lot more than we can go out and teach them. And I say this to you as students because I know many, and there was a period, not anymore I'm glad to say, where designers felt that they were now superior and they would go to a gown, to some karigars, and be a designer and think they can get anything they want done. And the craftsperson was always having to look up to them. But now, what I am trying to do is to tell all students, anybody who goes, go there, sit with them. They may not have a pakka roof. They may be sharing their workroom with a goat. They may not have any water. They work in very difficult conditions, and yet they are producing this. Understand their condition, understand their skill. You can't give a design when you don't know their technique. So you have to really learn from them before you can just open up their minds to more ideas. So for a student in learning design, it's more a question of you're sharing your wider knowledge, your teaching, your experiences you learned during your own education, and how you convey that and convert it into something that they can understand and do. Not just draw a design here because you've seen it on the internet or seen it somewhere and you little bit vary and go and tell them now do it. That doesn't create a connection. Once you teach them, you yourself will learn a lot. You will learn first, then you teach them, and you will teach them correctly. So that's what the whole idea is, that when you're working, you may change many jobs, you will work for yourself. But remember that when you're talking about crafts, it is for the future, it is for it to survive. Beyond you, you may move on, but crafts, a person may move on. Maybe out of one excellent master craftsman, 5 of his children are there. The girl may work on the craft, one boy may, the other one may go to do computer, the other one may go somewhere else. But when the craftsperson succeeds by getting 2 very important things, revenue and respect, 2 are, which are very important. One without the other is really no good. You give them money and you don't respect them, it's not our Indian culture that we just run after money. And if you give them respect and no money, what's the point of that? It doesn't fill their stomach. But when younger generation, again talking about the future, when the younger generation see the excellence of their father or mother's work, and they see now in Ashoka University, I was teaching that the boys first thought I was just going to give a lecture, but I took Karigar along. 1 hour I would speak, 1 hour Karigar would teach. At the end of it, they were all calling them the Karigar Sir and Master Ji, which they never bothered to do before. They would say that guy, some guy, but they became Ji and they became Master Ji, even though they may not have ever gone to school or college. That is teaching respect for whatever you may be doing. So when you do both, the younger generation will come. You will be asked by many people, why do the young people really want to do craft? Yes, if they get respect and revenue, both. So think of all that when you're working. Not just एक अच्छा डिज़ाइन दिमाग में आ गया, चलो इसको बना लेते, अपना लोगो लगा देंगे, ब्रांड लगा देंगे और फिर बस हम entrepreneur बन गए. That's not a promoting crafts, that's not a sharing of cultural heritage equally. You catch what I'm saying, no? Now, so for craftspeople, what I'm saying is you are people who will open up the craftsperson's world. So, creating markets for their craft. Now, when I touch upon Delhi Haat, why did I do Delhi Haat? Before that, we found when we did a study, the Karigar will make some little gudiya. This was in the late 80s. 5 rupees you would sell it. Exporter, the wholesaler would sell it for 25. If it was nice enough, the exporter would sell it. Abroad, it would sell for 8 times that amount. So, how to get the Karigar to get the money directly? We all use the word eliminate the middleman. Middleman is not in our culture always bad. But if you create a market, and that's what we all did during the 70s and 80s, was to make a place where Karigar could aa. They may not have known how to display in the stall, they may not have known how to get to a city. One old lady came from Bengal with some chatai. She brought her son. She was getting fever out of being frightened coming to Delhi. Itna bada market, how will I sit and sell? After 5 days, all her mats sold. She sent her son back. She stayed back alone to get more mats, and after that, she became a regular visitor there. Then they learn from each other. So they don't only learn from you or me. They learn from each other. From Bihar, I remember Delhi Haat mein log aate the, painting, they would bring it on paper and sit down, essay. So they could get dusty and dirty and little bit curled up at the edges. Nobody would buy. They suddenly saw that the worried person was framing everything. Everybody would buy it immediately. You can give it as a gift or hand it to you. So they learn from each other. Designers come. They will tell them, oh, you made a nice mala. इसको हरा और पीला पत्थर की जगह हरा लाल पत्थर लगा के दोगे, हाँ, because he's the actual person sitting there. So every customer becomes a designer. So this is how the Karigar learns what is a market, how to get market feedback, how to learn, and when you have markets in each city, which I did all over the country for many years, Tirupati, Guwahati, etc. They would learn Tirupati में चांदी का गहना नहीं अच्छा लगता, सोना चाहिए साउथ इंडियन को, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में उनको कॉस्ट्यूम ज्वेलरी चाहिए, दिल्ली में उनको कुछ और चाहिए. So they learn that way. Who are we to give them market research? If you know about them, you will know what to do for them. That's what I'm saying. So this was the beginning of Delhi Haat. It was just kacha 1 year before it actually started to get built. They asked me to put up a kacha bazaar there. So this was just chapar and simple ceremony, and this was there in 1992. It got ready in 1994, and now it's still going on, and now there are melas, there are all sorts of things going on there. Shall I keep? Now these are the draft maps that were mentioned by Jen. Also storybooks, many publications. So the maps will also come later, but I went to Thailand. In Bangkok, there is a very famous, very popular tourist map done by an English lady who's hand-painted markets of Bangkok. So where you can get electronic goods, where you can get vegetables or flowers. It's called the Mary Chandler's Map of Bangkok. And it was in 36th printing. I said, imagine one artwork selling so much, only about Bangkok and its markets there. Tiny country, one city. Plus, how much we have. So why not make the crafts map of India? When I made the crafts map of India, I said, my gosh, it doesn't fit. We have too many crafts. It took me 14 years and I covered all the states. In the meantime, Jharkhand became Jharkhand. So we have to do that map again. then UP and Uttarakhand हो गया, और every time Chhattisgarh state would form, Chhattisgarh हो गया, Madhya Pradesh फिर से बनाओ, but in each one you call an idea, artist. And I discovered when you say what is Indian art, what is Indian art? Is there any such thing? Is there Indian food, any one thing? It's everything. So Indian art, I realized every state not only has its own art form, but has many. Just Bihar, in museum itself you can see so many. This area में ये, इस area में वो. उसका सारा community का कहानी. So actually kahanis make up the culture of India. That's why I keep on talking in terms of kahani, because everything is a kahani. Some may be true, some may be not, but it's an experience and it's just as valid as a historian going and asking 10 people. He'll ask 10 people, you will go and ask 10 different people, 10 different kahanis will come. That is our country and the beauty of it is. So these maps from each art form, the maps of form, and children's stories I just do for fun. I'm not a writer of fiction. I don't know how to write adult fiction, बच्चों के लिए पता नहीं दिमाग में कुछ idea आ जाता है. So we've just done recently a series which you can, I think, also get on our online. It's very cute actually. It's this Ganesha, how Ganesha got his laddus. And the other is Hina Paints the Town, which is about a Mithila painter called Hina Khan. She's really actually a person. And Baju's TikTok, which is Baju Sham, is actually a famous Padma Shri artist, known artist of Madhya Pradesh. So Baju, who lives in the jungle and imagines animals, you know, both painting or imaginary animal or that. So they live in their imagination, the tree is a god, the bird becomes a tree, the tree becomes a bird, all these things happen. So he goes to work in a factory. So each of these is dealing with a new life. So new world. He doesn't know time, he doesn't know reality. But he lives in his own forest world. Most of them today are actually forest guards. So they some those who want to paint. So Baju goes around all these imaginary animals, get them to reach his bus stop to go to his factory. Because they're imaginary animals, he's actually walking slowly, imagining. But he's imagining that the animals are taking him. Too late points that. The boss was like, why do you always come late? So he says, no, I haven't gone back. Animals have brought me. He says, where are they? Nobody can see them. Because Baju doesn't have a clock. His time is his own timing. So then we ask children, what is time mean for you? How do you follow time? Are you in time for school? Just little stories like that. Then Ganesha, computer ka jamana aa gaya. And also, we used to do the old days, Shadi Biyah mein, one thali or one kela ka patta with food for Ganesh is kept before anybody else eats. आजकल 5-star buffet में हो गया food members in. So he's getting starved. So he and wondering now what to do. बैठते रहता है कि केला मिलता था, खाना मिलता था, लड्डू मिलता था, what to do. So he realizes, goes past the shop, sweet shop, and he sees over there mobile order 981 many zeros. So he thinks those zeros are all laddus. Like that. So he learns computer. His little mouse learns to use a mobile phone. Then they order from that shop, and the shop delivers him laddu. So he gives Ashirwad to the delivery man, and the delivery man is very happy, he fed Ganesh. So these are the stories. They're very Indian, they're very culturally Indian, but they tell a story to a child how you deal with the new world. How does Ganesh overcome obstacle? By learning and coping with the new world. So this Hina Khan paints in her wall in Bihar, but when she gets married and goes to the city, municipal people don't allow her to paint the wall. कोई poster लगा देते हैं, vote for so and so, see this movie, कोई proof देता है पान. So she's very sad. Then another young boy from Bihar who's come to the city to learn projecting Kamana. He says, don't worry, I will project your paintings onto a wall. So all over the city, wherever there is a blank wall, Hina Khan's paintings, Madhubani is there. So she paints that wall without having to paint. So these are inspirations which I don't know why I get, but I get because you sit with the Kargils, you know your culture, you know the country. You can see what are their problems coming up. So it's to convey to children कि ये एक दुनिया है. Sorry, I'm going very long, I think. So these are some more of the books. I won't bother with them. These are all available from our office online. Anyone will do. Then this is the Google story. This was a very long project, 2 years. We did about 11,000 photographs. And we had many teams going to the place, background research, writing the text, doing captions, doing metadata. My office learned to upload pictures for the first time. And so each craft, 52 crafts selected all over the country. Please, I will ask the students to see this. It was this Google Arts and Culture is a NGO. They are non-profit. What they paid us, we spent exactly. So there is nothing commercial about this. I'll give you the link if you write it down. Capital G.co, C-O, oblique, crafted in India, lower caps all one word. If you put it into your phone, it will come up immediately. You can keep the map on your phone. You type it into your lap. You type it now into your phone, it will come. So, G.co, no, but I think G.co, C-O. Then, okay, slash, crafted in India, all one word. Crafts in India, you will see the atmosphere of where they live, the process by which they make their work, what are all the products they make, how are they used, sold, marketed, or anything. They are all very different and they're based on 4 stories of success. Success doesn't mean becoming very rich. Success means success for the craft to survive. So one success is when the craft continues because the karigar has faith in his own craft. The second is when the community demands that you do that work. Diya. The community wants diya. So the potter makes the diya. In Jagannath Puri, the temple wants palm boxes to put their prasad mithai. So there is a whole colony making palm leaf basket. Like this, the local demand is required. So they have success in doing their work. Then there is pursuit of excellence. If you do something excellent, you can charge more for it. The fourth is success through marketing will make you innovate. So when you see innovation, you see success. Okay? So we, Google is a foreign company, American and British. So they came in, they said, we will do this success meaning show money. I said, I won't. These are my ideas of success, mano ya jao. So they manoed it and this is how we did the stories. So please, it's a very good educational tool online and it's the biggest craft exhibition they call it, online in the world. Now this Google thing. Now one very important thing I've come to the conclusion now in my late age is that we keep on using the word craft, but actually craft we are imagining a thing, a vastu, a box or a sari or a scarf or a tablecloth or something. Then you say, oh, I like crafts, I'm going to go and buy some craft. But those are actually just products emerging out of a skill. So for us, the real word is hunar. We may have 500 crafts in India, but actually they will be based on not more than 9 or 10 hunar. Just take embroidery, there will be 50 different types of embroidery. Those are not 50 crafts. So you have to define very clearly in your mind what is a craft and what is a skill. So here I am talking about skill. Don't think only marketing, how do you make a bazaar, how do you make a shop, how do we have online sales. But you take the karigar. I have asked all my bazaars, all my karigar, do you earn more money from an 8 din wala bazaar? Jahan you are directly telling the and more from पूरा साल का online में कुछ आपने रख लिया, so online में नहीं मिलता. For us, the bazaar is the human space. You talk to the human being, but पूछेगा customer कैसे बनाते हैं, बच्चों से आके pottery करवाएंगे, फिर 2 बर्तन खरीदेंगे. This human interaction is the core of craft. And that skill is what you are examining, the skill is what you are admiring. And therefore, the skills can be shown in these many ways. Corporate interior. Now this is Sanji. All of you will know and have learned about Sanji. This is massive Sanji panels sandwiched between glass, and this is a huge partition about the width of this room in a big corporate office in Gurgaon. Now the guy got for this about 4 lakh rupees, which he gets in one go. कितना उनको ढूंढना पड़ता है to earn 4 lakhs by making a little stencil, Shanji, and selling it to someone. So these are the interiors of that same corporate office, cafeteria wall, then ajrak on the walls, ajrak on the ceilings. Then there is gold painting, there is godna. This is the godna. I was sitting there actually telling the texture of design, किसी दिखाओ, पूरा दिमाग नहीं बना. But just for this, it took him a week's work and he got 1.5 or 2 lakhs. Where will they earn so much? So for us, we have to find more avenues than just make the thing and sell. They have to sell by applying their skill and providing their skill. So there's a book recently which I collaborated on called Indian Craft Interiors, where all the interiors and architects in India who applied showed, we selected 100 and showed their work, how they have used stonework to be made like a dari on the floor. So actually it's tile, but it looks like a dari, things like that. Dentist's office. Now you're going suffering with the toothache, but you'll see lovely gold painting there, maybe you will smile a bit. Public spaces mein, anywhere. Madhubani station. This is also in our Google project. Very nice thing. This we did in Varanasi. The rickshaw are in a very pathetic condition. 80% of the roads in Varanasi, you need a rickshaw, no car. And the toy makers, wooden toy makers of Varanasi is suffering. Nobody buys their stuff much. So we got the toy makers to paint the rickshaw. We made better facility in the rickshaw for peddling. We gave colorful covers. 8 rickshaws we made new based on their little toy rickshaw which they normally make. So we improved the life of the rickshawala and of the artist. The artist made more money painting these rickshaws than he made in a whole month in making toys. So again, application of his skill to something else. And not just the craft world, this is the transportation world in a city. So that's a public space. The front of Delhi Heart of one of the bazaars which I hold, first week of January 15. This is the clay work which is done in Chhattisgarh, just mitti and very beautiful with little birds and lattice work in them. You see in the Crafts Museum in Delhi they also have. So this is how we show in a public space craft being used. So for 2 weeks in Delhi Heart everybody sees this. Every year we have a different thing. Airport design. This was just for fun we did. Saman when it's coming out of that belt, you're waiting and there's some flaps. So if the flap looks nice, it's not so boring. Escalator people don't judge. Then now talking about different public spaces, I come to the Parliament project. For Parliament project, it was a huge honor that we got any work at all. I just suggested some craft-related ideas, so they gave me the whole gallery, 8 big installations. So each installation was in about half the size of this wall. So we had 8 of these, and we had 8 themes. Parv, Festivals of India. So Parv, Ullas, Swavalamban, Gyan, Samrasta, Astha, Yatra, Prakriti. So these themes, suddenly in a meeting they said, ye. And I had to But it was so easy and it came out so beautifully. I just feel it's because I know that I can do it, so we could get it done. So this one here is Swavrambhan in the Ajrak style of printing. This whole, I said that Ashoka gave us the chakra, Gandhiji gave us the charkha. So we made the chakra design into a charkha and little bit of embroidery, sequin and all of that. We made a real charkha from Kashmiri walnut carving, one from Punjab with the inlay work. So Swavrambhan is depicted with the different forms of charkha, meaning everyone has their own interpretation of Swavrambhan. These are some of the details from it. Ullas. Ullas is happiness. How did we translate happiness? We sent, we ordered cloth, matched the threads that we thought, we made color scheme, and we sent to each embroidery group or family or individual who does embroidery, whom we had direct sampark with. And we said, जब आप माँ बनते हो तो वो खुशी, उल्लास is happiness. So when you become a mother, and as a mother, when you wish happiness on your child, keep that feeling in your mind and do something to it. We did not tell them do this, do that, either line खींचो, either program लगाओ, nothing. We just said, खुशी सोचो अपने बच्चे के बारे में और आप माँ बनने के बारे में. We did very nice things. One lady did just balloon. She said, my baby is happiest when she sees balloon. Then another one did cow and calf. Another one did pregnant mother. These kind of things, and look at the different embroideries. I was myself amazed. When you put it all together, each of these embroideries is different from the other. Two big quilts done together. Chamba, Rumal ka embroidery, and then some of the detail. Prakriti is in again Sanji, showing how Prakriti, nature, human beings, birds, fish, sky, plants, everything is part of the cycle of one thing. So we are all part of that Prakriti. Yatra was very interesting. I did Banaras because it is almost sort of like a circle of life, never-ending yatra. It's also bringing entire life and perhaps bringing new life somewhere else. Also, the Banaras is the oldest living city, and India is one of the 3 oldest living civilizations. Never destroyed, neither our civilization nor Banaras, and the Ganga also flows forever. So I said ours is also never-ending yatra, like a combination of Banaras, Ganga, and life is the Indian way of thinking. So they did this 92-inch hand-woven piece, which is in silver and gold ready, with silk, and we did these charans here in brass, which is also done in Banaras, because Varanasi and the sea, between that is Banaras. And the whole thing is Mahapurush kabhi bhi khada rehta hai. So the city that comes up between his feet is, those people are elevated and enlightened. So those feet are there, and this yatra is there. And if everybody, all you medium students will know what is a khaka. So normally for a nice sari, you need 12,000 khaka. This one took 40,000, freshly made. We took pictures of the landscape exact. इसमें एक एक building जो बनारस में रहता है पहचानेंगे. So that's this, very proud we are of this one. Gyan means wisdom, enlightenment, writing. तो मेरा जो प्यारा चीज़ है calligraphy, वो भी आ गया. So in 22 languages of India, official languages, plus Braille. We added Braille from our side. And anything to do with Gyan, wisdom, acquisition of it, value of it, is all in different. We used Tamrapatra, we used Patachitra pen, we used modern digital technology, etching, sandblasting, every kind of technique, printing technique from then till now, writing technique. So everything is combined in one art installation of 3 panels. Parv is festival, so we use the Kawad idea of Rajasthan, and each of these flaps have one important festival of each religion. So there is Eid, Mahavir Jayanti, Ganesh Chaturthi, Christmas, Guru Nanak. Then on the left is Buddha Jayanti, Durga Puja, Holi, Pongal, and anyway, the middle thing is the Amrit Kalash because we are all talking about Amrit Utsav, Amrit Kal. So this is also full wall, this huge thing. This is Samrasta, which was a unity in diversity. So it got 170 block printing blocks from printers, block printers all over India. And so we have wood carving where there is no block printing, blocks from sari printing, any kapra printing, and metal work of different metals from all over India. So you have tala chavi, you have some decorative piece, you have a karchi, everything in metal, and we put this all together as an installation. Asta is faith. So I said faith, we all have our own religion and we have greed and all that. But beyond our own religion, the real faith we should have above all is in the faith of the soil of our country. Apni desh ki mitti. So rely and always faith in that. So because you are born of that. So we got mitti from every single state and union territory of India. कहाँ से पॉटरी, जहाँ पॉटरी नहीं होता था मिट्टी मंगवा के दिल्ली में पॉटर को बिठा के उनसे बनवाते। अंडमान जेल के बाहर के मिट्टी लेके आए, मिजोरम में कोई दरिया किनारे का मिट्टी लेके आए। So this whole thing is a wonderful collage of 3 pieces of mitti from every part of India. Then this was whitening again the canvas of knowledge for the Karigar Akshara project, which has them doing lettering in their own scripts. Then the exhibitions we had in, this was Cairo, UNESCO headquarters, and then at that time former Secretary General is no longer there. And then this was in Singapore for 1 year, Karigar also. Then I decided that let us try Gandhi. Handmade paper is something Gandhi always spoke about. There are handmade paper units Stapit Karod in that time all over Bihar. You should search for them. It's all employment-oriented, handmade, lovely paper made out of waste. So I got paper from everywhere, sent it to calligraphers, and sent 2 calligraphy out about Gandhi. So this was that exhibition. And I told Karigars, 40 Karigars, I just phoned and said, आपकी कला में किसी भी तरह गांधी को दिखाओ. So this is in batik from Bengal. Own creation of the batik painter. This is the paddy craft on the top, mosaic in clay, wood carving, sanji, gold painting, glass work. In every kind of style, they interpreted Gandhi without any guidance from me at all, other than a phone call. एक बार टच से किसी ने फोन किया कि बांधने में हमने गांधी बना दिया, आंख ठीक से नहीं आता है, आंख की जगह क्या करे, बाकी जगह फूल बना दिया। ऐसे चश्मा पहना के चश्मा के बीच में फूल लगा। So there is Gandhi with specs and a flower in his eyes. You know, this is how we do designing. We don't go with pencil kagas and think from 20 things from the internet. Just get an idea. Now coalescence, these are the 2 most important things. Coalescence is something अभी climate change के सब लोग कह रहे हैं, सारा दुनिया की तरफ जा रही है। Who destroyed the climate? Never. It's only the industrialists. Who supports the climate, uses it, helps it survive, helps it regrow, Karigari. So we had a program called Craft, Culture, Community and Climate. All of you should push in every forum. If you support craft livelihoods, understand then how natural dye, oil painting, natural material. This is Bihar. This is Kalamkari from Andhra. This is Kona grass from Manipur. The farmer and the Karigar work together. Then this is Ajrak and weaving from Kutch. All Kala cotton grown there. Again, all the kind of materials they use. Everything natural. Matani Pacheri from Gujarat. So these all Cherial painting. All of those are natural materials. So we call through ICCR 70 country ambassadors came and saw how much is done in natural dye. And none of them destroy the planet. why in Greta Thunberg चिल्लाती रहती है, कोई ना कोई कुछ बोलते रहता है. Industrialists are looking for solutions, while our carriers are teaching us this solution from millennia. So focus a lot of your attention on what is the natural material, how is it carrier, farmer and the world needs clean soil, clean air, clean water. None of us can survive without it. And this one particular set of livelihoods definitely can't do their livelihood if these three things are destroyed. So it's an important area to focus on for any institution, any individual. This is non-standardization, it is another pet project, right? Human beings, each one of us here are different. We all look different. We all talk diversity. We're trying to teach the world that any rang is okay. Gora, kala, half brown, this thing, I think nothing is different. Now when we believe that, why should the product of a craftsperson, individual's hand, all be the same? Then you get a machine. Isn't it the machine that is in fact destroyed so much? So if a craftsperson's individuality is there, each one will think differently. So one NIFT alumni from Delhi was once on a Zoom. He said, what to do, कारीगर को कैसे समझाएं कि बांधनी में you should put your dots equal distance. Customer wants it. I said, don't सिखाओ the कारीगर, सिखाओ the customer that बांधनी is the beauty of it is फैला फैला. There is no standardization. So all these things are showing you how we have made things, hodgepodge things without any standardization at all, and the beauty is in that. Many communities like the Persian carpet weaver, they always make one galti. They say that only Allah is perfect. So this is also there. So weavers of saris in India, they make one flaw. Saying एक जगह से आत्मा छूटनी चाहिए उसमें. So these are again cultural story, which is what makes craft meaningful. Then this new book which has just come out, which is a collaboration, author Dimple Behr, faculty Delhi in graphic design, and I have been working on since before COVID. We both had the same idea. हम बहुत colonized mind से सोचते हैं. Design का Indian शब्द नहीं है. Why only Hindi? In any language is there design? Graphic design. What can you say? I told all the students, think, what can we say in any language of India? How would you say the word graphic design? You all can say because we know English. कारीगर कैसे समझे? So, and you all, any of you who learn graphic design, people will tell you parallel line, this thing, that thing, without any root. In this book, you are shown the root of when we talk graphic design. We are not even talking graphic design. What does a rekha mean in our society, in our scriptures, in our mythology, in our stories and poems? What is circle? Is it only a circle? Shunya means so many things. Shunya is not nothing. Nothingness is something. We have a Shunya Mata Mandir in Odisha. This kind of thing makes it a very deep understanding of graphic design, and every career follows this. Every unpad Mithila painter, everybody will still follow principles of graphic design as we show in this book. And I've only taken examples mostly from our own maps, which are from each state. So how you can show texture, how you can show circle, how you can show line, how you can show anything. Each one has a deep meaning. For us, color has symbolism also. So we have a lot to do, but there is a great future ahead for craft skills. We can focus on the potential rather than the problem. Thank you.
Students, if you have any queries, any questions, you can ask. Floor is open for question and answer.
some teaching, some which is not necessarily religious. And spiritualism is beyond religion. Philosophical. Any of these very large ideas. In that there are concepts mentioning elements of graphic design. What we today translate as graphic design. Graphic design became a thing to teach after the printing press and newspapers started coming out in the West. With newspaper came type printing, typesetting, font, then logo making, then it became a corporate identity. But that is not graphic. For us, what did each line or each thing mean? It has a deeper meaning. So when you use it, it has crept into normal art practice. But they all are based on principles which we had formulated long before the West became industrialized. So that enough for you to understand that it is all based on some long, old spiritual or philosophical idea. That much little information about the Vedas you will get. Otherwise, I am not a student of the Vedas.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
More questions, please. Please feel free to ask.
Was what I said difficult to understand? But you don't have to accept everything I say. If you disagree with something, then you tell me. Your finding may be different.
Ma'am, I don't have a question as of now. I'm just trying to let everything settle. I'm a faculty of fashion management, and a thought came to my mind, and I wanted to put it in the form of a request. Is that if you can also work with the government of Bihar and maybe create a space, not let's say just another Bihar, maybe something even more innovative and a little more liberating, which could add to this state and infuse the creativity over here with fresh enough, something like that. So if you can think about this, it will be great for all of us, for the students, us, for the state, for everyone, all those creative minds over there. It will be a good addition.
To make a heart is a long struggle. It took me to make Delhi heart 6 years. When Nitish Kumar ji first became Chief Minister, he asked me to make a plan for a Bihar heart. So I wrote a 14-page paper giving the concept, how the system, where or to get the karigars, how to bring them, because I knew all the karigari of Bihar. And after that, I gave it to his own personal senior secretary, but I never heard anything. Later, some months later, somebody came to me and said, the World Bank has given us this paper to implement it. So I said, how funny, this is my paper. So after that, then we discussed whatever I written and what was possible. After that also, I don't know what happened. So it's a bit tough for me to start again. There has to be some adesh from the top, but then the department of whoever will look after handicraft has to allot a space. The system with this urban art scheme, the central government, the Ministry of Textile funds it. and they collaborate with the state government. State government has to approach them and say we want to do it, and we will allocate this land, this department will handle it. And they have to put in land plus 25% of the money, unless the scheme has changed. But otherwise, 75% of the money was putting it up came from central government. So it has to be somebody, a bureaucrat interested, who will pursue this with the central government and see whether they're still doing, are they keen, and so on. I, as an individual, can't place it really anymore.
You can initiate the process here or with the government.
I don't know who to do it with.
You can initiate the process.
Yes, if you let me know, we can certainly try. I can send you the concept paper. Not that 14-page one, I don't know where it is, but there's a basic one which many governments, including South Africa, Nepal, they all ask me. So, there to share with you. I'm working on one in Goa now, where I live, Goa Heart. So, we made a plan and met the Chief Minister. Yes, it would be nice if it associated with the museum. जैसे कि बाहर गार्डन वगैरह जगह में, and if some not so huge as Delhi are, even 50 stalls with the rotating participants is good enough. Could be Bihar mostly and some adjoining states just for good solidarity among neighbors. Like.
So there has always been a quest to understand the relevance of art, craft, or for that matter, folk art, and context of India and the Indianness, and what is the current context within which we need to understand. Now your work sets up an example for all those things that the designers and practitioners of design always search for. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your work with us. I'm sure, ma'am, all your work is so inspirational, and the students are going to take away a lot from this. And because we always look forward to what is the way forward. We always talk about art, folk art, craft, but what is the relevance in present context? How do we take it forward in the future is a big question. And from your work, we also come to know that you need to get out in the field to understand. You need to understand their context, put yourself in their shoes, stay with them, understand. Only then you will be able to do something. It's not about dictating your own terms going in the field, but then being one among them and then coming up with an innovative idea which is beneficial for all, which helps them sustain the craft, the folk art, and it has already sustained since the Indian civilization, right? It has not died, so there must be some merit. We need to understand what is the merit that we look for, and how do we take it. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming and making it here. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming. Thank you so much. We have one of our students. He is also an artist, and he has drawn a portrait of yours. Vikas.
I hope it's a cartoon. Don't wait, he's done it for me. Everybody's silent now. Maybe you're shy, maybe you have thought up anything. But I hope after you leave the hall, you will actively discuss with each other, and you should all have your own ideas and come up with different things that you might or might not have learned today. Thank you all for listening.